Oh, hey everybody, and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. As you may have noticed, things have deteriorated a bit around here. It seems that all that fog did a hell of a lot of electrical damage, so I'm without power. But hey, that should make the mood spookier, right? I mean, it's not like this comic has been setting the right mood. The opening black and white page features an overweight fellow wielding a chainsaw. Well, at least it's not an extreme close-up. Say, how would you like it if I opened every review like this? We see a woman being chased through the streets by a freakish little girl holding a bunny rabbit doll. So, Lynn, I've got one for ya. What has 2 heads, 1 mouth, and no brains? Ooh, Michael Moore!
The alien starfish naturally like to monologue.
I have traveled across billions of miles of interstellar space, seeking a planet like this one, teeming with intelligent life.
Unfortunately, he was referring to Earth's gopher population.
What kind of cow-brained, sorry Luna, kids would do that? Hey, asshole, sit and spin. I personally know people who either chose not to go to college or had to drop out for various reasons. Go to hell! Don't they know that without a college degree or technical school training, they're drastically limiting their potential? Bill Gates was a college dropout. Food for thought. I mean, I could have ended up as a fry cook in some low-class dive, but since I went to culinary school and really learned my trade, I have my own restaurant now. Rachel Ray has no formal training in cooking, but through actual hands-on experience, she got herself several TV shows and books. Bite into that, dickweed. Okay, before I get people jumping down my throat, yes, college can indeed be a good thing. I myself have a bachelor's degree in English and a minor in philosophy, but a college degree is not a guarantee for success, nor does its absence mean you will fail. Plus the fact that the comic outwardly insults people who choose not to go to college makes me want to see Gordon Ramsay meet this asshat of a chef.
If you just shut the up for 30 seconds, you might learn something.
And as I said, I know people personally who either didn't finish college or in fact ended up with careers that had nothing to do with their college degree. Ugh, this is why this isn't a PSA comic. It's just propaganda. Anyway, back to the comic.
And here's where we actually start resembling A New Hope a bit, as 3PO and R2 are now in the Dune Sea, with R2 being his usual calm, collected self.
You're nothing more than a dim-witted, emotion-brained intellectual. Why you were created is beyond my logic systems.
Poyo, what's wrong?
I just suddenly miss Sierra.
3PO, finally done with all of R2's moaning, picks up the droid and tosses him away. C-3PO may have been encouraged to become a translator in his youth, but his true passion was always football. The two separate, always a shame to see a couple arguing.
Oh, and as if that wasn't enough of a descent into insanity, the veterinarian, with a squirrel on her shoulder, since as a doctor she'll need that squirrel to stay sanitary, and the pilot suddenly hold up giant cue cards. Everybody knows how important college is! Just look at these inspirational people! And to quote Green Arrow from the awesome comic Kingdom Come, now for the Democratic response. Here's a quick list of people who either dropped out of college or never attended at all. Quentin Tarantino, Steve Jobs, Frank Lloyd Wright, Dan Aykroyd, David Bowie, Patrick Stewart, Rosa Parks, Stan Lee. It's a funny old world, isn't it? Anyway, the two finally reach the bridge out of Silent Hill, where Christabella and Brett are waiting for them. Christabella has gained control over the Brett manifestation, and now we have this, sound effect, I guess. Clerk. Sounds like a Hebrew curse word. Troy, you bastard! Gonna eat you alive, real slow. My God, it is Michael Moore!
My powers are now your powers. You shall go where I send you. Do exactly as I command.
Alolan Staryu is weird.
Okay, there's not a lot of plot in this issue outside of, well...
Run away! Run away! Run away!
So let's talk about why this is a really bad horror comic. Horror can work on several levels. Psychological, gore, atmosphere, etc., etc. The horror of Silent Hill works because of the disturbing imagery that's so unlike what we see in our everyday lives. The fog-covered town, even though it's creepy because of how empty it is, still looks pretty much like an everyday town. But when you add the monsters and stuff, the unusual frightens us. But in this comic, everybody is drawn like this. Nothing looks normal. I can't tell the disturbing imagery apart from the regular imagery. Look, Ben Templesmith is a perfectly good artist, but he was not the right fit for this. Since we don't have the noises we would normally have in a horror movie, we instead rely upon the visuals for it to be a horror comic. And what horrific images have we seen so far? Why, there's the horrific, shocking pencil sketches! And our annoying girl in white who just yells obscenities! Spooky! And then this thing made out of jello and paper mache. And judging by the expression on its face, it was a special needs monster. In the games, the monsters of Silent Hill are hideous abominations with symbolic value to the characters. So please, someone with training in symbolic art, please tell me what the shadowy silhouettes are supposed to represent to Troy. At this point, it'd be scarier to flick the light switch on and off.
Martian Manhunter, however, has some better success. The remains of the asteroids that Superman is dealing with have begun falling into the atmosphere, allowing Jean to redirect them towards the deputy and forcing it to start withdrawing back to Earth. However, the speed it goes at is so bad that it somehow lights a wooden window frame on fire.
Fire! I grow weak around flames of any kind. I've got to put them out, or be overcome.
Don't worry, Jean. I know just the guy to call to ask about fire stuff.
Always cover damaged electrical cords with rugs or blankets. Fires can't start, they're not exposed to sunlight.
Nah, instead he draws a storm cloud over and gets the rain to take out the fire.
And thus ends Godzilla's journey through hell. You can't keep the big G down. And in the end, I think this really proves the superiority of science to magic and mysticism. Coincidentally, that's why I think we should be renaming this series Test Tube of the Damned. And, of course, are you done?
Yes.
Then skedaddle before I put you in one of your precious test tubes.
Righto! I'll just, scooch past you. Yeah.
And as for you, my children, I'll see you in October.